Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. And a very good afternoon I bid to the honorable judges, the precise timekeeper, fierce opponents, and amazing audience. Now, if I may, I'd like to lend your ears for a bit and introduce you to something that's been modernized by today's society, that is online shopping. During this lecture, I'll be elaborating on the topic, which is the fifth of online shopping. Before I get any deeper now, I'd like to define today's title so we get a clear overall view at what we're talking about here. I'll be giving the literal meaning of the keywords in today's title, and then I'll move to the phrase meaning of the title. Now, literal meaning. According to Oxford's English dictionaries, online means controlled by or connected to a computer. Shopping means the action or activity of buying goods from shops. Fifth means the theory or philosophy of Islamic law based on the teachings of the Al-Quran and the traditions of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. Moving on to the phrase meaning of today's title, which is the Islamic philosophy and ruling of online shopping. Let's take one step back and see why. Why was it important for scholars and sheikhs to learn the fiqh of online shopping? We'll be talking about one significant country and make it clear why scholars and sheikhs took an initiative to elaborate the fiqh and law of online shopping to Muslims around the world. Let's move on to Indonesia for a moment. The number one country in the ranks for the most Muslim population, standing at 231 million Muslims. Based on data itself, the sale of e-commerce in Indonesia is experiencing very rapid development. The following are e-commerce sales data dating back from 2016 to 2017 and sales prediction from 2018 to 2022. In graph, it is illustrated that e-commerce sales in Indonesia are getting results amounting to $5.8 billion in 2016 and $7.1 billion in 2017. Based on the same graph, it is also predicted that e-commerce sales will increase until 2020, which reaches $16.5 billion. According to this, it is clear that product sales through e-commerce in Indonesia have enormous potential in the future. However, from the huge potential of e-commerce sales, there is a problem of trust from consumers from an Islamic perspective based on Sharia law. It is therefore important to ensure that e-commerce trust from a Sharia perspective is developed to encourage and meet the needs of more than 1.8 billion Muslims worldwide. Therefore, it is important that the e-commerce system must be in accordance with Islamic laws. Honorable judges, based on Islamic point of view, e-commerce has an understanding that is almost the same as conventional trade. There are several rules in e-commerce that must be in accordance with the needs of Islamic principles and permitted by Islam, as contained in the Quran, Surah Al-Jum'ah, verse 10, which translates to, "And when the prayer has been concluded, disperse within the land and seek from the bounty of Allah, and remember Allah often that you may succeed." Ladies and gentlemen, in this verse, it is explained that Allah allows His servants to carry out any activity on earth as long as it does not conflict with Islamic principles. So, in principle, the use of e-commerce is permissible as long as it does not conflict or violate with Islamic principles. Ladies and gentlemen, let's discuss business ethics in e-commerce through Sharia law. There are three: honesty, sincerity, and trust are the values that must exist in Islamic business. An entrepreneur must be honest and trustworthy in every business transaction. There shall be no desire to cheat, lie, or promise something that is not appropriate in a business transaction. On the other hand, there may exist a seller that tries to exploit their customers through cheating. They tend to use inappropriate methods such as spreading lies so that their products sell well in the market. Such as when advertising images, there tends to be an exaggeration to persuade customers to buy their products. The method used is very effective and puts customers more vulnerable to e-commerce transactions because customers rely solely on information based on what is printed on the web to make purchasing decisions. Thus, customer trust also plays an important role in the progress of every business matter. In An-Nisa verse 58, there is also an explanation for trust, which translates to, Indeed, Allah commands you to render trust to whom they are due, and when you judge between people, to judge with justice. Excellent is that which Allah instructs you. Indeed, Allah is ever hearing and seeing. Members of the floor, there are several contracts on Islamic buying and selling related to e-commerce. These contracts are Bai' as-Salam, Bai' al-Istinab, and Bai' al-Mu'ajjal. Bai' as-Salam is an Islamic contract in which full payment is made in advance for specific goods to be delivered at a future date. It is necessary that the quality of the product intended to be purchased is fully specified, leaving no ambiguity leading to dispute. Next is Bai' al-Istinab. It is defined as the contractual agreement to produce items with specific description at a determined price and manufactured from its own materials with its own effort. The emphasis in Istinab is the specificity of subject matter to avoid uncertainty, ensuring that the seller cannot be accurately described. Moving on to the third contract type, Bai' Mu'ajjal, means sale for which payment is made at a future fixed date or within a fixed period. In short, it is sales on credit. So e-commerce can enter into one of three types of Islamic sale and purchase contracts mentioned before, depending on the communication model and the type of business being carried out. Amazing audience, to sum up my speech today, e-commerce has several things that need to be considered in terms of legal buying and selling in Islam. Islam supports the development of ways to trade through e-commerce. However, the support must be used as well as possible because Islam supports the development of e-commerce in accordance with Islamic law. E-commerce must consider aspects of transactions such as business ethics, payment systems, contracts, buying and selling systems, and rights to consumers and producers. When this has been fulfilled, it can be concluded that based on the law of Islamic buying and selling, the use of e-commerce is permissible because it can lead to benefit while still adhering to the values of Islamic buying and selling. With this, I end my speech for today. Thank you for lending me your eyes and ear. Wabillahi wa taufiq wa hidayah. Wassalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.